Last night we had beef and noodles for dinner, one of my favorite dinners. That means that today I'll have beef and noodles either for lunch as leftovers or for dinner. Either way, it's good stuff. So when I saw Paige the Deuce roll in at lunch, I knew what she's up to. I guarantee you she's going to go in and try and swipe my beef and noodle leftovers for her lunch. I made sure I put a stop to that. I caught her as she was coming in the back porch and asked if she flew in on that broom or whether she drove the mail Jeep today. She said, "Funny you mention that. That's what my husband says to me all the time." Your sister just parked her broom on my back porch.
You better be nice.
Well, what did she get for lunch today?
Shredded roast beef.
Good. Not my beef and noodles, right?
No.
Best sister,
She loves
best
me.
sister ever.
She loves me.
Everybody does. You're not getting my beef and noodles.
I've saved
That's
her
right, I'll
some
give her this.
roast beef from the roast, and I shredded it, and
Like I said, best sister ever.
You're so lucky.
I know I am. I think when I retire, I think I'm still going to come here for lunch every day.
No, you're not. After I finished standing guard over my beef and noodle leftovers, I headed out to the shop to check on Kenny and Jeremy. Kenny was busy putting those engine mount stands in, and Jeremy wanted to get started working on the top, patching the rust holes above the windshield. Jeremy got started cutting out the rust spots and almost caught the truck on fire. There was a mouse nest up in there. He put the fire out, then stuck his camera up in the hole to see if there were any other surprises up in the top of this truck. So while they're working on that, me and the turd barrels hop in the dually and head towards Columbus to go see a buddy of mine. He's got a 700 R4 transmission and a set of 15-inch 5-lug wheels that I'm going to need once we make the 5-lug conversion on Vicki's truck. So I pick up the wheels, and it turns out Colton had two 700 R4s, one with a manual valve body. I can't use that one in Vicki's truck, but I couldn't hardly let it lay there. He made me a good deal on the pair. So I head to Jegs after that to go see Miss Kimmy and Mr. Craig and pick up some parts for the 700 R4 I'm putting in Vicki's truck. I wanted to put a Corvette servo in it. I wanted a new transmission mount, a new transmission pan, and a brand new TV cable. Turns out they had all of it right there at the 11th Avenue store. So that was pretty convenient. I go back home, stick the 700 R4 in the parts cleaning tank, and start cleaning it up, and Mr. Kenny starts prepping the wheels for paint. When I finished up cleaning that transmission up, Jeremy was almost done welding a patch panel on the top of the cab on the passenger side. There's a lot of curvatures and it's fighting him pretty bad. It's difficult work, but he's getting there. And Kenny was just about to start shooting green on these wheels. He primered them first before he shot the color on. Mark mixed this up special for us down at A1, and it perfectly matches the paint code to this truck. Well, Kenny, what do you have to say for yourself today?
They're gonna look badass on here.
Oh my God, Becky, look at her butt. Those are gonna look sick. What's the matter, Uncle Bucko?
This Kenny fucking saboteur is what he is. He runs off with my jagged, rusty metal pieces I make patterns out of and throws them in the garbage can.
Hey, you leave it laying on the floor, it's going in the trash.
It was in my toolbox. And you messed with my tools too. Demerits.
I straightened them up.
Demerits.
Somebody's got to clean up after Jeremy.
Full-time job.
Wait.
It is a full-time job. God, we'd be waiting forever to clean up the shop then. All right, Uncle Bucko, here's your time to shine.
Oh, Jesus.
He gets all upset because Kenny comes out here and does stuff like this, like chrome motor mounts and nice fresh black paint, chrome grills and chrome bumpers, and Kenny gets all the accolades, and Jeremy spends all day out here beating and banging and making stuff look like that. And like, that looks really good.
Don't forget the mouse poopies.
He was digging mouse turds out of the cab earlier today. Great big mouse nest. After Jeremy went home for dinner, I went ahead and started pulling the pan off this 700 R4 so I could check it out. There's a little bit of crud in the pan, but nothing too serious. And from what I can tell, it was a good working transmission when it was pulled. Exactly what Colton told me. It was about sunset when Tommy and Allison stopped by. They came to help us do a little bit of shipping and receiving. Vicki came out to help too. We took some pictures out in the shop and hung out for a little bit, and I got to hold Scrappy for a few minutes before Tommy took her back home. And Allison stayed behind to do some editing on the computer of the photos that she had taken for us tonight. Kenny and Harley loaded up the next day's shipping and took it home with them so Harley can drop it off in the morning.
What are you doing?
So I had to do a little work on this. I wanted to put a aftermarket servo in it, and the throttle valve cable was missing. I'm not going to turn it over, but I stopped at Jegs today and bought a new TV cable. So I installed the TV cable and installed the new servo. I would have gone ahead and just finished it up tonight, but the new transmission pan that I bought over here did not come with a filter. I thought it would come with a filter. So I don't have a filter here. So I can't put this on until I have the filter that goes in that. So I'll have to wait till tomorrow morning. But I think it's going to be a good transmission. It was fairly clean inside. It didn't show any signs of abuse. I think it's going to be all right. Once I get the filter tomorrow, I can go ahead and put the pan on, finish it up, and then I got to take your drive shaft down and cut. I got to have Super Duty cut 8.5 inches off that drive shaft.
8.5 inches?
Because that little tiny 3-speed was like this long.
Oh.
And this transmission's like this. So
I'll be darned.
it's simple. All I gotta do is cut the yoke off, shorten it 8.5 inches, and weld it back together and rebalance it. So and the yoke is different. This transmission takes a much larger yoke. It's a Power Glide Turbo 350 yoke. So that is a different yoke. So they have to cut 8.5 inches off that end and replace the yoke with the one that fits this transmission.
Did you catch all that, June?
I'm tired. I'm ready to go in. What time is it?
I don't even know. I think it's going on midnight.
Well, let's go in, get cleaned up, and go to bed, and then get up in the morning and go again.
Sounds good.
So the next morning I wake up and come downstairs to eat breakfast, and Vicki's got Valentine's cookies all over the table, which is fine, but I'm looking at them and I'm thinking, how do those look so good and yet my Pop-Tart looks so poor? Then she grabs that weed whacker and starts in on me.
There we go.
After I got done getting my ears taken care of, I went outside to check on things in the shop. Miss Harley was already busy, and Kenny was helping her do shipping. I've got this set of wheels that Kenny painted last night that I need to take down to Bowman Goodyear and have this new set of tires mounted on. I can't wait to see how these things turn out. So me and June Pup head that direction in the dually.
Beat all that nasty weather coming in.
Nasty weather coming in.
Thursday night into Friday.
What kind of nasty weather?
Freezing rain and sleety.
Oh, horse feathers. Well, I brought you some tires to mount. Old Chris thought maybe I was bringing some bald tires in to get replaced. No, these aren't for snow and ice. We said goodbye. I dropped the tires and wheels off, and he said he'd call me as soon as he got them done. So June Pup and I went over to Burger King and got everybody something for lunch and took it back to the shop. When I sat down to eat lunch, Jeremy called me and said he was headed up to the farm to see Mom and Dad. He'd take some video while he was there. And I was just about to fire up this engine on the engine stand to adjust the valves and get it ready. It just so happens that this sequence of events were happening at the exact same time based on the timestamps on the video clips. I thought it would be really cool to put these clips in order and let you guys see what was going on at my shop and what my brother had going on up at the shop at the farm where we both grew up. Interestingly enough, just about the time I was starting to fire up this small block on the engine stand, Jeremy and Dad were firing up that John Deere A for the first time, almost at the exact same time. I let the little small block run for a little bit and adjusted the valves, put the valve covers back on at the exact same time that Jeremy's walking around taking B-roll and Kenny's working on getting this engine off the run stand. There is so much stuff up there to work on, from Internationals to Chevrolet Coupes, Ford Model A's, Model T's, trucks, tractors, and everything in between. There's no end to the projects available up at the farm. Growing up around antique trucks, tractors, and farm equipment has made me who I am today, and my brother as well. It's what's given us the background to be who we are and do what we're doing today, together, here in my shop, and eventually up at the farm as well. I was finishing up putting this 700R4 transmission back together at about the same time Jeremy was finishing up with B-roll up at the farm. Once he got done taking video footage up there, he headed back down to the shop to help us work on the C10. And Kenny went to pick up the new wheels and tires for the C10 down at Bowman Goodyear. When he got back, he went ahead and pulled the engine off the run stand, stacked the wheels and tires up, and Vicki came out just about the time we were lowering the engine down into the engine bay. Once we set the engine down on the engine mounts, we quickly realized we had a problem. The engine mounts on the engine and the engine mounts on the frame don't line up, and that required emergency surgery. All right, Uncle Bucko, explain your situation. Explain your plight with my engine mounts.
It didn't fit.
So you had to take a Dremel to one of them and kind of
Scooch them over. I think they're probably for 70 Chevy, 71, and the frame rails are slightly different.
No, I don't think so.
Slightly.
I don't think so.
Well, I can get the tape measure out though.
I think it probably has more to do with those Chinese engine mounts.
Well, there's that too.
Because the first set we went to put on, one hole was drilled bigger than the other one. And one of them was fine thread and the other one wasn't. I don't know. It was a disaster. Luckily, I had two sets of engine mounts here. One set was good and the other set wasn't. So we sent Kenny on a wild goose chase after bolts we didn't need. I'm sure Kenny appreciated that.
I still needed them.
Don't need them.
They were in my bolt bin. I've got regular 3/8 bolts.
These are hardened stainless steel.
Oh. So
Upgrade.
take that.
Upgrade.
So what's the plan for tomorrow for you guys?
Stick a TNT.
So the disc brake kit is here, right? Did you open this stuff, Kenny?
I started to.
Yay, more aftermarket parts.
Nice. So we got calipers, rotors, pads, and that should be the brake master cylinder and power brake booster. So there it is. Guess what you get to do tomorrow? That looks really good. That just looks right.
A lot better than that little 6-cylinder.
And once we put those wheels and tires on tomorrow, oh, that's gonna look good.
Hope we don't run into any problems.
I hope not. All right, everybody, welcome back. So we got the engine set down on the truck today. It fought us a little bit, but Jeremy and Kenny managed to get it down in there. They had to do a little manipulation on the engine mounts, but it's in. So that's a great thing. It looks wonderful. I'm very impressed with how everything's turning out so far. You know, again, we're not trying to build a show car. This is just a daily driver, something to go to cruise ins and hang out in and have fun. So the transmission's ready to go in tomorrow. However, we're going to have to create a cross member. Either I'm going to have to find one, buy one, or create one. But one way or the other, we'll get that straightened out. And then also tomorrow, we're going to start the 5-lug conversion on the front, swapping the front drum brakes out for discs. That kit showed up here today. We're also going to swap out the single bale master cylinder for a dual bale and a power brake unit. So that's coming tomorrow. And then also I have to take a little trip over to Mosier tomorrow, because Mosier custom made me a set of axles for this truck that are 5-lug, 5 on 4 3/4. And I'm going to take the brake drums over with me tomorrow, and they're going to go ahead and re-drill the brake drums for the proper bolt pattern. So that is how I'm going to handle the 5-lug conversion on the rear. Let's see what else. So in other news, I've got something here for you guys. I know everybody's been wanting me to go race again and do something, and I've got a plan. I can't get into it just yet. The plan is set in motion, but I do know that I was talking to Allison out here last night, and she is very excited. Her family is very excited, and she wants to race her dart at trails over here on Wednesday nights. They have a Wednesday night bracket race thing that they have done for years out there, and I think there's even a points series for the Wednesday night guys. And I used to race Wednesday nights out there a long time ago, back before the kids were grown. I think actually this was before Tommy was born, but I used to race out there every week. And I have a plan to possibly get back to that very soon. And I know Allison's looking forward to it, and I'm thinking this might be something that we could all go out there and do, as you know, her family and our family together, and have a little bit of fun. So there's a plan in motion for that. I can't tell you what it is just yet, but I think you guys are going to very much like this. And I would like to get Kenny's car up and running so that he can come out and race as well. And speaking of Kenny's car, as most of you know, Kenny's had a rough winter, and it continues, and it continues. But now that the merchandise thing is up and running, and Kenny and Harley are both working here basically full time, things are getting better. However, Kenny's car needs some work, and he needs some parts. He needs. But in order for Kenny to have his car ready to race this year, I've come up with an idea to raise a little bit of money for Kenny. If you would like to support Kenny, we are going to do a giveaway for a Camaro RC car. Check this thing out. It's beautiful. It's a teal green. It's almost an identical clone of Kenny's Camaro. And Kenny wants to sell armbands like Billy does on his giveaways for the RC cars that Billy does. But instead of the proceeds going to benefit me, the proceeds are going to go to benefit Kenny and his racing operation, strictly Kenny's Camaro project. That's what this is going to be for. So if that's something that interests you, if you would like to possibly purchase an entry to win this thing, in the next day or so, we're going to put it up on the website, and you'll be able to place orders for armbands. And Kenny's got these really nice teal green armbands that say Kenny Powers on them, and OMG for Old Man's Garage. So if that's something that interests you, if you'd like to get in on that and get a chance to win this DR10, it's a team associated DR10, brand new right out of the box. It's got a brand new stock body. The brand new stock wheels and tires are here. It's ready to run. I think all it needs is a battery and a charger. And it's got some nice aluminum wheels on it. And so I'm sure we'll get that up on the website and get all the details. We're going to sell armbands for a certain amount of time, and then we'll cut it off and give the car away. I need to work out all those details with Kenny first before I put it all up on the website, but be on the lookout for that. That's coming. So that's going to do it for tonight, guys. Oh, there's one more thing. Thank you all for buying the merchandise. It's crazy, the amount of merchandise it's selling. Keep in mind, though, this is coming. If you have received your merchandise, do me a favor. Take a picture of it, wearing it, hanging it on the wall, whatever you're doing with it, and post it on Facebook and tag Bill Hoskinson, that's me, and Vicki Gishel Hoskinson, and hashtag OMG, hashtag the Old Man's Garage. And we're going to keep an eye on that, and we're going to pick a few favorites randomly, and we're going to send out some care packages to a few people who have bought the merch. So keep an eye out for that. I'll talk more about that in the next video. Good night, everybody. Thank you for watching.